Hey and welcome to the Formula Vee guide on Laguna Seca. There are two things which are very important around here. First, this current track combination teaches you how to use the full width of the track, because that's the main key for a quick lap. There are only 4 braking zones, so everything boils down to using the optimal racing line. And second, since there are many long straights, using any kind of clutch assist will cost you a lot of time every single lap. If you can drive without them, I would recommend you to turn them off, because it's simply not worth it. Let's take a look at the lap. Aim for a wide entry and drive onto the extended part of the track. I'm using the 200 meter board on the right as marker for braking, hit the brakes hard and aim for the first inside curb. Take this turn in 3rd gear, because using the second one slows you down way more than necessary, which leads to a bad exit. You want to hit a tight entry without touching the raised red curb. It unsettles your car and can cause a spin. Stick to the inside and try to be as early on the throttle as possible. As you can see, I'm back on the throttle right after passing the first curb. This works only if you take your time on the entry and don't overdrive the car. If you enter the turn with too much speed and try to accelerate at this spot, you will feel that your rear gets loose and you might even spin. Learn from it when it happens and approach the apex with less speed next time. The exit is identical to the entry. Aim for a tight line without hitting the red curb. I'm staying in this cam to show you how important it is to use the whole track. That way you can carry as much speed as possible onto the next straight, which nets you time. Position the car on the very far left and lift slightly to hit the next turn. Attack the inside while avoiding the red curb again and be early on the throttle. Don't be afraid to use all available space on the exit, it helps you to carry more speed onto the straight. Like before, enter the turn on the very far left, but this time you can take the turn flat out. The next turn goes uphill and we can use it to our advantage. It sounds ridiculous at first, but you don't need to brake for the next turn. Stay on the throttle, use the white line on the right as marker and shift back into 3rd gear when you reach it. Shortly after, when you reach the 200 meter board, you want to lift and turn in. But be careful, this line won't work on the first lap of your stint when the tires are cold. You will lose the rear and spin, so really be careful. Be aggressive on the throttle and unlike me, you want to avoid the red inside curb again. Surprisingly, I didn't lose any time here, but it's difficult to keep the car under control. Avoid stress by not touching it. The next turn is easy, just aim for a white line again. This time you really need to avoid the red inside curb, hitting it will end your race. It's easy to lose time on this uphill part by taking it in the wrong gear. As a general rule of thumb, you want to stay in 4th gear unless your speed drops below 132 km or 82 miles per hour. Then you want to shift back into 3rd gear and use the high RPMs to power up the hill. Brake in a straight line and stay on the right side of the track to get a smooth entry. We will stay in 3rd gear again for this turn. Attack the inside of the entry and push the car to the left. That's the only thing you need to keep in mind. If you hit the entry, you can step on the throttle again and accelerate towards the last sector. If you hit the entry, it's easy to avoid the gravel on the right. You will need to lift a few touches or you spin, both options cost you time. The last turns are easy. Aim for a wide and smooth line through the downhill left-hander. Now position the car on the far left for a nice entry into the right-hander. You want to use the 200 meter board as marker and lift briefly when you reach it. There's no need to brake for this turn. Be early on the throttle again and attack the apex without hitting the red curb. The 200 meter board is our last marker for this lap. Go hard on the brakes and attack the last apex. Try to be as early on the throttle as possible and use all available space on the exit. The track limits got changed a patch ago and now it's possible to use the green curb without receiving an incident point. Take advantage of it. And that's it. That was the guide. The cockpit lab with my inputs will come up next. Thanks a lot for your support. Don't forget to check out the description and leave a like when this guide helped you. I wish you good luck for next week and see you next time.